Across America's farmlands, John Deere's iconic green and yellow machines now sit idle, a sight that would have been unthinkable just months ago. These machines, once the heartbeat of planting and harvest seasons, are now silent, their absence echoing across fields that depend on them for productivity and progress. The company has halted production at multiple U.S. factories, leaving assembly lines motionless and factory floors eerily quiet. The hum of machinery and the bustle of workers have been replaced by an unsettling stillness. This early June 2025 decision has sent shockwaves through agriculture and the broader economy, raising urgent questions about the state of domestic manufacturing and the future of American farming. Farmers, dealers, and rural communities are left wondering what comes next, as uncertainty ripples through every link in the supply chain. John Deere isn't just a company, it's a symbol of rural life and American industry. For generations, its equipment has been woven into the fabric of small towns and family farms, representing reliability, innovation, and the promise of a better harvest. Its assembly lines, grinding to a halt, signal deep economic pressures that go far beyond one company. The ripple effects are being felt by suppliers, logistics firms, and countless businesses that depend on a healthy manufacturing sector. The company's leadership calls this an unprecedented freeze, not a routine shutdown, but a full stop for a significant portion of its U.S. manufacturing. Executives cite a complex mix of market forces, from rising costs to shifting global demand, as reasons for this drastic move. The implications are far-reaching, affecting factory workers, suppliers, and entire communities that rely on Deere's economic presence. Local economies, already fragile, now face even greater uncertainty as paychecks and business contracts are put on hold. For a company that reported over $10 billion in earnings in 2023, this drastic measure signals a profound shift in market conditions. It's a wake-up call for investors and policymakers alike, highlighting vulnerabilities in sectors once thought to be stable. Even a temporary halt for several weeks is a distress signal from one of America's industrial giants. The pause disrupts not only production schedules but also the confidence of those who depend on steady work and reliable equipment. It forces a national conversation about the sustainability of U.S. agriculture, the competitiveness of manufacturing, and the policies needed to support these sectors. Lawmakers, industry leaders, and farmers are now grappling with how to respond to these new realities. Deere's fortunes are often seen as a barometer for the agricultural economy. When farmers struggle, so does the supply chain. The halt exposes the fragility of a system where every part is interconnected, and a single disruption can have far-reaching consequences. This production halt is a tangible sign of hardship in America's heartland. It's a reminder that behind every machine and every factory are real people, families, workers, and communities facing an uncertain future. It's about more than tractors. It's about livelihoods, communities, and the future of a cornerstone of American identity. As the dust settles, the nation must confront the challenges ahead and find ways to support those who keep America's fields and its dreams alive. John Deere's U.S. production freeze, starting June 2025, marks a dramatic departure from business as usual. Unlike routine shutdowns, this is a broad cessation across multiple factories, expected to last several weeks and impact thousands of workers. With over 30,000 U.S. employees, any multi-plant halt is significant. This isn't a minor operational tweak, it's a response to a systemic issue in the U.S. market. International operations remain unaffected, highlighting the uniquely American roots of the problem. For a company of Deere's scale, stopping assembly lines nationwide is a critical move to prevent oversupply in a weakening market. The unprecedented label underscores the severity of the situation. Deere has weathered many downturns, but this freeze signals a confluence of severe challenges. The extraordinary nature of this event has amplified concerns and focused attention on the underlying causes. The main reason for Deere's production freeze is a sharp drop in demand for farm equipment, a situation that's sending shockwaves through the entire agricultural industry. For decades, John Deere's iconic green machines have been a symbol of progress and productivity on American farms, but now, the assembly lines have come to a standstill. This slowdown is driven by a tough economic climate for American farmers, who are facing a perfect storm of challenges that make it harder than ever to stay afloat. Lower crop prices have slashed farm incomes. Corn, soybeans, and wheat prices are all down significantly from previous years. These price drops mean that even a good harvest doesn't guarantee a profit, leaving many farmers struggling to cover their costs. The USDA projected a 16% drop in major crop receipts for 2024, after an 8% drop in 2023. That's a staggering loss for an industry that already operates on thin margins, and it's forcing tough decisions on farms across the country. High input costs, fertilizer, fuel, seeds, have stayed stubbornly high, squeezing farmers' margins even further. Every season, these expenses eat into what little profit remains, making it nearly impossible for many to invest in new equipment. With profits down, farmers are delaying or canceling big purchases like new tractors. Instead, they're repairing old machines, stretching every dollar and hoping for better times ahead. Deere's own earnings are projected to fall by $5 billion from 2023, with production down 10–15% in 2025. These numbers reflect not just a company's struggle, but the broader pain felt across rural America. The company's move is a pragmatic response: align production with demand, avoid excess inventory, and weather the storm. It's a difficult but necessary step to ensure long-term survival. This isn't just about Deere, it's about the entire agricultural supply chain. When farmers cut back, everyone from parts suppliers to transport companies feels the impact. The freeze is a direct response to the financial pain rippling through America's farms. It's a sign of just how interconnected the fate of manufacturers and farmers really is. It's a stark reminder of how closely manufacturing and agriculture are linked. When one struggles, the other feels it too, and the effects can be felt far beyond the factory floor or the fields. The production freeze has led to significant job losses, compounding hardships for workers and their families. Even before the June 2025 halt, Deere had been cutting jobs throughout 2024 and early 2025 to stay competitive. Iowa, home to many Deere plants, has been especially hard hit, with over 1,700 jobs lost since early 2024. Layoffs at Waterloo, Ottawa, and Davenport have left hundreds facing uncertain futures. Each job loss is a household in distress, and the impact ripples through local businesses and schools. The scale of the freeze means more layoffs are likely, though exact numbers remain unclear. Other states with Deere plants are also feeling the pain, despite the company's stated commitment to U.S. manufacturing. Temporary shutdowns, even with partial pay, can't erase the anxiety about long-term job security. For many, the future feels more uncertain than ever. John Deere's production freeze quickly became a lightning rod for political debate, with former President Donald Trump seizing the moment to blame what he called failed leadership and bad economic management at the highest levels of government. The news of the shutdown spread rapidly, fueling heated discussions across the country. Trump's fiery response framed the shutdown as more than just a business setback. It was, in his view, clear evidence of a broader decline in American manufacturing and a sign of neglect toward the nation's vital agricultural sector. He argued that such events were becoming all too common. He called for urgent, sweeping policies to support U.S. farmers and manufacturers, using Deere's troubles as a rallying cry to energize voters in key agricultural and industrial regions. Trump's message resonated with many who felt left behind by economic shifts. The shutdown quickly became a national talking point, dominating headlines and sparking debate in living rooms and newsrooms alike. It was no longer just an economic issue, but a powerful symbol in the ongoing debate over America's future direction and priorities. Trump's intervention galvanized his base, intensifying political pressure on the current administration to respond decisively and address the concerns of working Americans. The struggles of an iconic company like Deere became both a political weapon and a rallying cry for change, with protesters and advocates demanding action to protect American jobs and industry. The shutdown's high visibility ensures that the plight of workers, their families, and entire communities remains in the national spotlight, highlighting the real-world impact of economic policy decisions. It's now a test case for economic stewardship and industrial policy, with lawmakers and experts debating the best path forward to restore confidence in American manufacturing. As the political storm intensifies, the urgency to find real solutions for American industry grows, with the fate of companies like John Deere and the communities that depend on them hanging in the balance. Deere's production halt threatens to ripple through local economies where its plants are economic anchors. These factories support not just jobs, but local businesses, tax bases, and community life. Suppliers, many of them small businesses, face sudden drops in orders, risking layoffs or closure. The shock waves extend through the supply chain, affecting towns far from the main plants. Reduced employment means less consumer spending and lower tax revenues, straining public services. Even Deere's dealership network, employing 50,000 nationwide, will feel the pinch as equipment sales slow. The interconnectedness of Deere's operations means the pain will be widely shared. The June 2025 freeze follows months of workforce and manufacturing adjustments at John Deere. Throughout 2024, the company cut jobs and temporarily shut down plants to manage falling demand. Iowa alone saw over 1,700 jobs lost, with layoffs spread across multiple facilities. Temporary shutdowns like those at Ottumwa Works signaled deeper issues with demand. Deere also shifted some mower production from Iowa to Mexico, offering early retirements to over 100 employees. These moves, driven by cost and strategy, raised concerns about the future of U.S. manufacturing jobs. The freeze is the culmination of a long period of painful adaptation to a tough market. Deere's production halt is a warning sign for U.S. agriculture and manufacturing. When farmers' incomes fall, their ability to invest in new equipment vanishes, hitting manufacturers hard. The USDA's projected 16% drop in crop receipts for 2024 highlights the severity of the crisis. High input costs and low commodity prices have created a perfect storm for farmers. The shutdown amplifies concerns about the sustainability of American agriculture. It sparks debate about what policies and support are needed to keep the sector healthy. Idle factories are a stark reminder of how quickly distress can spread through the supply chain. The Deere freeze prompts a broader reflection on the future of U.S. manufacturing. It raises urgent questions about how to maintain a strong industrial base and support skilled jobs in a volatile global economy. The event highlights the need for resilient supply chains and renewed investment in domestic production. Policy debates now focus on how to support both farmers and manufacturers, with trade, tax, and innovation at the forefront. The Deere shutdown is a call to action for a cohesive industrial strategy. The immediate pain is real, but the long-term challenge is ensuring American industry remains strong. Innovation, investment, and smart policy will be key to forging a prosperous future for U.S. manufacturing and agriculture.